The HR Happy Hour Network is proudly sponsored by WorkHuman. Nearly 9 in 10 HR leaders say they don't have a strong leadership bench. That's where WorkHuman's Future Leaders gives organizations a smarter way to build one. Future Leaders is the first talent intelligence solution to identify high potential VP plus talent level already within your workforce. This can happen up to 4 years before promotion. Using proprietary AI and real-time recognition data, it uncovers the leadership signals hidden in everyday work long before traditional success planning can. It's a smart, data-driven approach to building tomorrow's leaders. Learn more at workhuman.com. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Network. This is the play-by-play podcast hosted by myself, Jack McFarlane, and Nick Schlemmer.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Well, Nick, as you know, it's August, and that means two things. One, I'm getting married. So by the next episode, I'm going to be a married man.
Round of applause for the young man.
Thank you. But arguably, I got to say this quietly. You listen around the room. More important thing, football season is starting, right? So
college is
it got me thinking, there's been a lot of big sporting events happening. The World Cup, March Madness was a while ago, but that's a big one. NHL playoffs, all that. And everything that I noticed was prediction market. It was all over, especially the World Cup. Those Kalshi commercials with Timothy Chablagu and on the ad boards everywhere. And it got me thinking, I don't know, have you had this thought, Nick? Like, what the heck is a prediction market?
That thoughts definitely came across my mind, because if you were in a state that allows this type of predictions or betting, it's all you see on your ads. YouTube, and Instagram, whatever it be.
I think it's technically still legal in every state. That was their big claim these are places like Kalshi and Polymarket, for those listening that maybe haven't seen it or just didn't know what it was. It should still be legal in all 50 states. It's a way to get around gambling laws, although there are new lawsuits popping up like yesterday about these. So that might not be the case much longer.
It definitely could be. The farthest I've gone on Polymarket, I created an account and that's it.
Yeah. So I've done one prediction market. It was FanDuel's, just because I wanted to place a bet on one of the World Cup games. And I was like, you know what? I'll try this prediction market. Side note, I'm a genius, totally hit. Anthony Gordon, England, anytime goal scorer. He scored in the 62nd minute, got subbed off, boom, cashed the bet. So that was pretty awesome. Side note, over. A prediction market is more than just sports, though. That's where it really got me intrigued.
Yes.
For us, we are very into sports, very much into sports. That's all we watch. I'd say 99% of the time. Is that correct?
That's right.
So every advertisement for us is a prediction market
ads
in the sports world. But that is not even a small fraction of what they actually are. So the core definition of a prediction market is an exchange where users buy and sell event contracts based on the outcome of future real world events, rather than just a traditional yes or no, like, will Nick's team win? Bet yes, bet no. So this is betting on everything.
Anything real world. And Jack, I know I've seen this. I'm sure you've seen it too. There's an ad where the guy goes, I made money because it snowed yesterday. He bet that it would snow. That's the kind of thing that you can predict on these.
And mind you, those ads are AI. Also, I want to note that those ads are AI. The Kalshi ones where it's like, I knew it was going to snow tomorrow, and so I put a bet on Kalshi. And it's like some farmer dude. But yeah, though, you want to know the craziest ones I've seen? There's two that come to mind for me. One is you can bet on stuff like aliens. Will the U.S. government confirm aliens in whatever year, 2026, 2027, blah, blah, blah. You can bet yes or no on that. That's crazy to me. The second one is you can bet on what people will say / how many times they will say it in a speech. So the common ones are like, how many times will Trump say the word China? Is it more or less than 4.5 on a specific speech? You can literally bet Trump will say China more than 4 times on his random speech on a Tuesday afternoon. Like, what? You can't even find this stuff on the C-SPAN channel. You're going to be betting on it now. It's crazy.
It really is.
So could you tell us, we kind of got the overview of what it is. Can you tell us a little bit of how it works?
Yeah, so the mechanics of it kind of go $0 to $1 pricing. Contracts are binary, yes or no, in price between 1 penny and 99 pennies based on that market probability, excuse me. If a contract trades at 70 cents, that means that the market is implying a 70% probability of that outcome occurring. So if there's a 70-cent bet on it's going to snow tomorrow, there's a 70% chance that that might actually happen.
Yeah.
So, and if the event happens, the contract resolves to a $1 paying out a 30-cent profit for the contract because it was a 70-cent or 70% chance of that probability. If it fails, you lose. Zero,
Yeah.
there's no cash out, there's you lost your bet.
Exactly.
Just how normal betting goes. But that's kind of the basics around it. And Jack, I know you could touch on, the mechanic side versus a traditional sports book. I know you have some background on that.
So the big draw to these prediction markets, other than it is just legal everywhere for anyone to do that's over the age of 18, is it cuts out the house, right? So there is no the house always wins. It's not a middleman. So the market, the 70%, let's say the 70%, that's based on other people's action and not set by the house. So like a casino will see, wow, everyone's betting on Nick's team. Let's change the odds. They change the odds. This will automatically do it on a Kalshi. So if everyone's betting it's going to snow, the probability is going to rise. And then like Nick said, the part where it gets around the betting behind it, even though it is betting, but legally it's, I think, considered something else, is that you put one share of 70 cents on it. It happens, pays out $1. For some reason, legally, it's not considered gambling. I've done lots of research. It seems like it is gambling. I mean, let's be honest. It's gambling.
It is. It almost, it reminds me of trading on the stock market. Like that, there's some loophole in the back end.
And it looks like that visually. They make it look like a stock market, to be honest. So that leads me into my next question, which was, why are they so popular? And I think it's some answers that we've kind of talked about and some others that you might not think of. One is it's legal, right? That's the big one. A lot of people want to bet their money. Whether they should or not is up to them, but these prediction markets are legal. I'm more interested in Gen Z, right? The statistics behind Gen Z. I mean, that's what we're all about here.
Yep.
Do you have any statistics that would point towards prediction markets and our generation when it comes to things like Kalshi and Polymarket?
Yeah, Jack, one of the first statistics here is over 60% of active users in the US market prediction platforms are between the ages of 18 and 34. A fairly young crowd. Gen Z. Nearly 40% of young men between that age range of 18 to 34 actively report trading or participating in these prediction markets. I've seen it with my friends. I'm sure you've seen it with your friends. The younger generation, Gen Z, loves this right now.
Loves it. By far the target audience is this younger crowd. And I mean, I'm not even that big into it, and yet I would be in that 40% because I have made one trade. Like I have done it. And I've seen countless people do it. I would expect that number to just grow rapidly unless this legal stuff really gets crazy. Was it forgive me, it's either New York or New Jersey that started a lawsuit. I think it's New York. It could have been New Jersey. To me, they're one and the same. Legally, they're crazy houses over there. I get to deal with it every day, especially the New Jersey side.
Yeah.
But one of those states has started legal, and I think you could see a domino. If not, these numbers are going to grow because they are catering towards Gen Z specifically.
100%. And Jack, one thing that I want to mention too, going back on the stock market that I mentioned, how you mentioned that it looks like you're trading on the stock market. My social media recently, and I feel like this is most of Gen Z, has been a lot of day trading, stocks, investing, future portfolios, everything like that right now is all over my social media. So for Kalshi, and Polymarket to create the websites that mimic that. And then you tie in a sports component or anything else that you want to predict on. I mean, you're drawing a huge pool of people, huge crowd.
And
I
then
think
they
that's
can
playing a huge part.
Oh, definitely. And then they feed off the fact that, hey, we're like the stock market, but it's quicker. Like you could have
Way
your
quicker.
money tonight. If you
Yeah.
bet on the game tonight, you bet on the event tonight, you could have that money in your pocket in the next 3 hours. Like that's where
they
they get
draw
you.
you in so quick, instant
It's just like a
gratification.
casino. Exactly. Exactly. And you know, I have a couple theories behind it. I've got a stat here though that is going to kind of feed into it, and it's that 80% of Gen Z speculates um, that financial anxiety and feeling behind on traditional wealth milestones compared to other generations at this age. Just
Yes.
because I mean the world's expensive, we all know it. So I mean I feel like I still feel behind sometimes. Like I have those days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure everyone does. But I think this higher number than average is putting some people to the point where they're like, "Well, I've got to do different things to get ahead of the game."
Mhm.
Like, I'm working 9 to 5, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, but man, if I just put a couple hundred on Team Schlemmer to win and they win, that's 3 weeks of rent
That's a
for me
huge help.
or
Yeah.
3 weeks of whatever. That's a big help, right? So I think there's some of that. And the other thing is now that Gen Z is getting real jobs and getting the first real paychecks of our lives, I think
Mhm.
some people are just careless, like, "Oh my gosh, I got this money. I need to
Most
spend it."
definitely. Most
I think
definitely.
that's feeding into it as well. So
They
it's kind of like a perfect storm.
Yeah. I mean, very smart on Kalshi and Polymarket.
Oh,
They're touching a
100%. They are
demographic that,
crushing it.
like you said, they're just getting some call it big boy money, however you want to say it, a real paycheck, and they're eager to
Mhm.
spend it. Like
Yeah.
good business
And
in
they've
the
done it
end.
so fast. I mean, I remember, like, I think I saw my first Kalshi thing about a year ago.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
they've
about
been
a
around a
year.
little longer than that, but their growth, Polymarket, everyone just exploding. So, I mean, it's just been a crazy rise to go from being unknown. Everyone was like, "What's a prediction market?" to
Definitely.
having every other ad at the World Cup final. So
Definitely. These
it it's crazy.
these prediction markets, there's a lot of upside, but Jack, I know we
hmm
want to talk about the downside.
Yes, we definitely want to talk about the dangers. This is like, I mean, it is betting. You're betting your money, right? There are lots of risk involved. Although you could win, you probably won't. In fact, the data shows that you won't because these are companies. They need to make money, just like a casino.
It's a business. Yeah.
So, data shows that about 70% of active accounts lose money over time. This is taking Kalshi and Polymarket and FanDuel. So, about 70% of people lose money over time, with the average being negative 8%. So, you might say, well, that's not that bad. 8%, if I bet $100, I'm only on average going to lose 8 over time, which is true. But also think of the people that are betting $10,000, hundred thousands of dollars, or people
Yes.
that don't have $100 to lose. You know what I mean? That's
hmm
where it gets in. So, like, just off the bat, you should know 70% are gonna lose over time. And I'm sure that, like, look, I'm 1 for 1. I'm up money. I guarantee you, if I started
Yep.
doing this daily, weekly, I would eventually lose money because
Yep.
it's just how it works.
That's just how it's going to go. Exactly. And then another interesting thing is people are burning their emergency fund accounts,
hmm
their savings accounts, things of that nature. A study by Intuit Credit Karma found that among these sports bettors and speculative traders, 26% of them have depleted their savings account. 21%
hmm
continue to struggle buying their everyday needs. And a 22-year-old with only 2,000 in their savings account loses 500 on a event contract.
hmm
That is a big hit.
Oh, it's massive. It's 25% of your savings all gone on would an alien land in Nevada on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yep. Who would have thought that wasn't going to happen? Some of those, I'm like, come on, really, really. Um, but yeah, no, it's a real problem, and this is not just a prediction market problem. That's been a gambling problem. People gamble more than they
Yeah.
can afford to lose. Where the prediction market comes into it, especially with Gen Z, is that it's so accessible. It's so easy. You can do it. You can be laying in bed or sitting on the toilet gambling thousands of dollars away. And when you're a young, stupid kid, you've got no real world expenses other than, rent and maybe some of your first bills. You're not thinking down the road, oh my gosh, I just got my first paycheck. Let's bet some money on the game, or let's bet some money on aliens. It's just so much easier to lose that money and get addicted because it's very addicting. Like gambling's addicting. In fact, over a third of young gamblers who admit they have a problem. Think about it. Most people don't even admit they have a problem. These are the people that are saying, I have a problem gambling. A third of those people are saying that they don't plan to seek help because they have, gambler's fallacy, where they believe they're one big away from being out of the hole. If I could just hit this one bet, I'd win it all back. No, you're not, buddy. What happens if you lose the bet? Then you're in double the trouble, because how are you going to win it all back in one bet, but you lost it in 1,000?
Exactly. You have to put
it's
serious money on the line.
It's a slippery slope. So with all that being said, risk-wise, I do want to put a play-by-play disclaimer in here. Always gamble or trade with what I call it fun money, right? If you can afford to lose it, let's say, if you have $100 and you were going to spend it to go to Disney and you'd rather spend it on betting, go for it. As long as you can afford to lose it, it's your fun money and you're okay with getting nothing back, that is fine. Don't gamble with your savings, right? Don't gamble with your rent money. Another good line is, I got to think of this. You can eat with your gambling money, but you can't gamble with your eating money. Just keep that in mind.
Yep, that's a good one.
And then for anyone that struggles with gambling, call 1-800-MY-RESET. That's the National Gamble Hotline. There you go. So with all this gambling talk being said, we're going to take a quick break, and I've got a very, very special surprise that might sweep the nation, Nick. It might sweep the nation. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see when we come back.
I love it. Let's find out.
All right, guys, we are back. And if you are enjoying on YouTube and watching the video version of this, which I encourage everyone to go do that, especially for this episode, you are seeing something glorious. Something made from a genius, I might say. So this is the play-by-play prediction market, right? You might be thinking, why would you just talked about how they're dangerous and not good? Well, this one is better. You don't use real money. So we each have coins, and as you can see, I need to go like this because Nick only had 500. We each have 1,000 coins. So we're going to be using the play-by-play prediction market with our set number of coins, and instead of just telling you who we think is going to be the kings of college football, we're going to predict it. How does that sound, Nick?
I love it. We're placing live bets on it.
We're placing live bets. So as of right now, these are the current odds for each team. These are legit. I believe it was pulled from FanDuel. So they are subject to change. I sound like an advertisement right now. This is not real money. These are subject to change, though. We're going to come back, at the end of the year and see what we got right. What would we have won or lost? Right? That's the big one, or lost. So we've got each major conference, a group of 5 playoff, and a national champion. So we're going to go through. Nick, you are welcome to bet as whoever on whatever, as long as you have at least one bet in each category. So I'm going to let you start it off. We're going to go starting with the Big Ten. Big Ten champion, what do you think?
Big Ten champion, I would love to say Nebraska, being in the Big Ten. But I have to be somewhat realistic here. I like Ohio State.
Say, these are play-by-play coins, Nick. These are valuable. You should be realistic.
These are valuable coins. I have 1,000 coins right now. Hopefully to turn that into even more. That's the end goal. I want to be in the green, not the red.
Ohio State. What number are you thinking? And we can change this. If you want to change it down the road a little bit. But initial gut, what number?
Initial gut tells me 250. 250 coins on Ohio
250.
State.
I like it.
To be the Big Ten champion.
I like it a lot. As you guys know, I am an Ohio State fan after Utah, right? Obviously, my one true love is Utah. But if I have to watch anyone else, I grew up an Ohio State fan. Anyway, so yes, I'm going to bet on them, but I'm going to do this a little differently. So I truly think Ohio State is going to win the Big Ten, right? So I'm going to put, I'm going to say 150, not 1,500. I'm going to put 150 on Ohio State. Now you might be thinking, well, why just 150 if you're so confident? Well, I don't know. There's this team up north that I hate and have hated my whole life. And I can't believe I'm about to do this. But they have the godsend of coach and a lot of awesome transfers. And I would be remiss to not put a little bit of coin on Kyle Whittingham, an absolute legend, plus all the Utah transfers. So I got to root for my boys. I will secretly be rooting for Michigan very slightly.
Only 50 coins.
Only 50 coins. But come on, Kyle Whittingham. I mean, that guy is a legend. Legend. So I got it. I got to put some coins on him.
I like it.
So we'll see. And for those that aren't visually watching, Ohio State is favored at plus 180 in the future odds with a market price of 36 cents. Michigan is at plus 1,500 with 6 cents. So there you go. On to the Big 12, Nick. I have not much heart to say, but please take it away.
Take it away. The Big 12. Jack loves this conference. He hates this conference. Certain schools in it. And without thinking earlier, Jack asked me, choose the winner of the Big 12. I wasn't thinking about Utah being in the same conference.
Trick question.
I wasn't thinking about Utah being in the same conference as BYU. I texted, give me BYU. Mm-hmm. I was then relieved of my job as podcaster.
This is his last episode. Okay, this is his last episode. We will have a new co-host, but how many coins?
But in the end, BYU, give me 100 coins.
Okay.
As painful as that is for you to type in.
It is painful. You could have picked anyone else. I'm not upset that you didn't pick Utah. I'm only upset that you picked BYU. I have no more hatred in my heart for anything other in this world than BYU. That is the thing I hate the most. I would rather be stuck in an elevator with wet socks on and styrofoam surrounding me than have to cheer for BYU for half a second in my life. With that being said, let's get on to the proper prediction. The real kings of the Big 12. They went 10-2. They have their returning offense, a new coach, and the best fans in football at Rice Eccles Stadium. Give me the Utah Utes. Give me 5. Just kidding. 300 coins. I would like to go 500. Like Nick said earlier with Nebraska, got to be semi-realistic. I'm only going to go 300. Just to be a little more realistic. So I'll pump my own brakes a little bit, but Utah all the way. For those not watching, BYU plus 650 at 13 cents, Utah plus 850 at 10 cents. Let's move on to the SEC, Nick.
The SEC, I chose LSU over the Alabama, Georgias, the big time schools of the SEC. LSU's right up there with them. I don't know. I know some people who went to LSU. I like the vibe of LSU. I like the colors.
Coach.
That's the reason.
Lane Kiffin.
New coach, a few new players. That's the reason for this.
Yeah.
So let's see. I did.
So you are sitting at 650.
650 remaining. 650 remaining. Got a few spots left. I like a good 200 on LSU.
Okay. I like that. I think that's a good. That's they're not a favorite. They're at plus 850, 9 cents market price. But brand new coach, a lot of new transfers. I think they rank number 1 in transfer portal activity this offseason. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a great pick. I almost went with Ole Miss, thinking, 1, they made the playoffs and went really far. And 2, their coach, Lane Kiffin, left midseason to go to LSU. If that doesn't light a fire in your belly that your coach openly said, you guys can't win a national championship, I'm going somewhere that can. I was very close to betting on them. I decided against it. This is basic. I'm going to go Alabama. I'm not too confident. SEC this year, Bama, Georgia, there's so many.
There's a lot of talk going around the SEC.
A lot of talk going around. I want to check my coins. I'm at 500. For now, I'm going to throw 100 on Bama. And the sole reason for that is, there's 2. One is I got accepted into Alabama when I was applying for colleges. So there's some brownie points. And 2, our grandpa's a big Bama fan. And those
Yep.
are my reasons. And sometimes that's all you need. On to the ACC. This is almost the forgotten conference minus Miami's run last year.
Yes.
No
Yep.
offense to the ACC.
No offense to the ACC, and Jack, that's exactly why I'm taking Miami. That's who I'm
good.
placing my bets
How
on.
How many coins?
How many coins? 225.
You're gonna make me get rid of this 0. 225. I like it. That's a good pick. They're actually minus 140 to win the conference, 57% market price. I'm gonna go Clemson. I like their
Ooh.
odds. They're a big program. They haven't been that good recently. They just lost a lot of players. I'm gonna do 100 points on them, not 1,000 coins. They've got a great coach, Dabo Sweeney. I think is a fantastic coach. I think it's a prove it year for Clemson after the stinker last year, and
Yep.
plus 1,400, 6 cents a market price. This is where the betting side comes in. Of if it's a smaller bet, if that hits, it's a huge payout.
It's a huge bet. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna keep that on 100 for now. Let's see. You're sitting at 225. I'm at 300. We got 2 things left. Next is the Group of 5 playoff spot. So not a conference champion. Who do you think is going to get the automatic bid? Best Group of 5 team.
Some of these teams, Jack, had really good seasons. Boise State and James Madison stand out a lot. I just remember them going on huge runs, some big name players getting drafted. My gut tells me Boise State. It really does. It tells me Boise State. Maybe it's the blue field that could be doing me over.
It could be.
But I've got 225 left. I'm just going to do 50. I want to keep this
50.
one a little bit smaller than my
That's
other
fair.
bet.
That's fair. I'm kind of in the same spot. Group of 5 can be really hard to judge, right? They're playing quote unquote lesser teams. I mean, it's not really quote unquote. Let's get real. They're playing lesser teams. If Nebraska was a Group of 5 team, guys, they would go undefeated. If any school that is in the top 50 in the nation would destroy a Group of 5 schedule. So they're hard to judge. Because you never really know who's going to come out of nowhere. I would love to say, North Dakota State. It's their first year in the FBS. That would be a crazy story. They've dominated the FCS for decades. Not going to say that too much of a long shot. I haven't seen them play this level of football in quite some time. I'm kind of the same way. I got, do I go Boise, James Madison, Tulane a little bit? I'm going to settle with James Madison. They've had really, really good years the past 3 years. Fun fact, you could have said they won the national championship last year because all of Indiana's players and coach came from James Madison the year prior, and they were just a year older and in an Indiana uniform. Minus Mendoza, he came from Cal. But a majority of that team came from James Madison. I'm going to keep it rolling. I'm going to put 100 on it. Not 1,000. I keep doing that. Here's the big one. National championship, Nick. Who do you think is going to take it? We've got the biggest favorites here. I believe our picks fall into this category.
Ooh, and I might have to mimic you, Jack. On your first trade, you picked a few different teams. Yeah. I think that's not a bad idea here for the national champion.
Yeah, let's do a little coin check. You're at 175. I'm at 200.
Few teams stand out. Indiana, great run. Amazing. Do I think they can do
coach.
Fantastic coach. Great program. I love the way he thinks.
Yeah.
Do I think they can do it back to back? I don't know. But I do want to put something on them. I want to put 100 on Indiana.
Okay.
I want to put 100 on Indiana.
So you're sitting at 75.
I'm sitting at 75. And I want to put the rest on Ohio State.
Okay.
I really think they're going to be dominant.
Yeah. I think that's wise. I like the split. Maybe Indiana can go back to back. I'm here to break your heart and say that's not going to happen. But I'm going to follow your structure of putting 2 bets out there. First one, Ohio State. I'm putting 100 coins on it. I think they have the best roster. I think they have the best coach. And their schedule is really not that bad compared to what it could be. Julian Sayin, another year older. They've got the best player in the nation, and Jeremiah Smith. I think they're going to win it all. I would love to see it. For my other pick, this is where I don't know where to go. And to be honest, in this moment, I've had all day, I've been thinking about this. Who am I going to pick for this second? And I'm stuck. And maybe you can help me. We can talk this out. I've got either Oregon or Georgia. would be my other ones.
Okay.
The Big Ten has won the past 3 national championships. So, and I think Oregon has the second best roster in the nation.
The Big Ten's on a roll. Oregon kept their quarterback. He didn't go to the draft.
Yes.
Huge. That's a big factor.
And they actually, maybe I should go for Georgia. They did take your quarterback.
They do have ours. He's a backup quarterback.
Do we want him to get a national championship ring?
As a Nebraska fan,
probably
not. Say no.
Probably not. But now, you did bet on BYU.
I did bet on BYU, which is kind of the same vibe.
I don't know. Here's my thoughts on Georgia. They've got the best defense by far and the best special teams by far.
By far.
Not only is their defense the best, it has a chance to be historically good. I love defense. I used to play defense before I was a running back. This is really me thinking out loud. This is tough. You know what? I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to go with Georgia. Not just because, Oregon's got that Nebraska tie back. We don't want him to get a ring. But because Georgia has won it recently, Oregon, I don't believe they've ever officially won the national championship.
I don't
Could be wrong. I don't believe so. Georgia's done it. Usually it's it's very rare that an Indiana wins the national championship.
Yes.
Let's get real. So that's going to be it. We're locking it in. I'm excited to see. And how many months will it be? It'll be a couple months.
It'll be a few months.
I think we're going to make some coins here.
A few months. The bet that scares me the most, have to be honest, is the Indiana bet. That scares me.
That's a gamble. That's a gamble. I mean,
that's a gamble.
But I don't hate it. I mean, it's a great team, and they just went undefeated. They haven't lost a game since 2024, which they lost in the playoffs of 2024.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad bet at all. I actually think we look pretty good. I think you had one horrible bet. Obviously, you all know the BYU
With the
bet.
BYU.
I think you're just throwing coins away. Not because I think it's honestly a horrible bet. They are a good team. I just, don't like them. So, like I said, next episode, guys, Nick will not be here. It's going to be a new co-host. Stay tuned to see who that's going to be. So exciting stuff. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll hit you with Nick's final quote of the show. So we'll be right back.
All right, we're back wrapping up today's episode, potentially the final episode for me, with the quote of the show. I wanted to end it on a good one, talking about football and prediction markets, and I wanted to throw just a good humor quote in there, make you think a little bit too, Jack. I want you to think about this quote.
I don't know. My brain, I've done a lot of thinking today.
This is coming from Woody Hayes. He said, and I quote, 3 things can happen when you pass the ball. 2 of them are bad.
Okay. Interception and completion, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of goes with that's kind of like a prediction market. There are 3 outcomes. 2 of them are bad. Because technically there's an outcome of like a tie in a lot of these cases. Because prediction market
goal
is more than
money,
just
so
yes,
we don't
no.
like the tie.
So, yeah, you don't want the tie because a push is not a win. And in a prediction market, a push is actually still a loss because it gets very mushy. We do not get into the ties, but you actually would lose money on a push in a prediction market. Anyway, very great quote. I like it. I love the football theme. I know I'm excited for football. I know you're excited for football.
Very excited.
And now I'm even more excited to see what happens with our predictions here. So everybody look out for the play-by-play prediction market. I'm sure you'll see it in the next World Cup. Advertisements everywhere. Instead of Schlemmer, it's going to be Nick in that dentist chair. Kyle, play-by-play prediction market. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
So, thank you guys for listening. I hope that it was very informative. Please, if you are going to gamble, be responsible, be smart. Never gamble more than you can afford to lose. And that's what I'm going to leave you with.
I love it.
Go Utes. Sorry, go Utes. Come on.
I love it. Jack, great episode. Episode 45.
45. We're almost to 50.
45 shows in.
That's coming up.
The big 50 is on the way.
We'll have to do something special.
We will. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Hope you're watching on YouTube.
Yes.
And bye for now.